The Sunshine Diner had stood on the corner of Maple and Pine for more than 4 decades. Its bright yellow walls and retro-checkered floors were a warm contrast to the chilly gray morning outside. Locals came here for comfort food, familiar faces, and a slice of home, something Lily Parker had been serving with quiet grace for the past 3 years. At 26, Lily moved through the diner with practiced ease. Her blue uniform crisp, her hair tied back with a matching clip. The breakfast rush had finally begun to fade when the bell above the door chimed. A man in a tailored gray suit stepped inside, holding the hand of a small boy dressed in a blue plaid shirt. The father looked out of place among the laminated menus and vinyl booth, polished, but his tired eyes told another story. The boy kept his gaze glued to the floor as they made their way to a window booth. "Good morning," Lily greeted them, offering a kind smile. "Welcome to Sunshine Diner." The father attempted a polite smile of his own. "Good morning, thank you." The boy said nothing, his hands resting flat on the table. "I'm Lily," she continued gently. "What can I get you to drink?" "Coffee, black, and my son, Max, will have an orange juice." Lily nodded and brought their drinks. Max hadn't touched his menu. He stared outside as though the world existed only beyond the glass. When she returned to take their order, the man sighed softly. "I'll have the breakfast special. And pancakes for him, blueberry, if you have them." "We do," Lily said, her smile warming. "How about whipped cream? We can make a smiley face on top." For the first time, Max's eyes flickered toward her, brief. "Curious, that would be nice," the father murmured. "Thank you." 15 minutes later, Lily set in front of Max a plate of blueberry pancakes decorated with a whipped cream smile. The boy studied it, not touching it yet, but clearly intrigued. As Lily moved through the diner, she kept an eye on the pair. Max cut his pancakes into perfect squares, eating each one with deliberate precision. When she returned to clear their plates, she noticed he had arranged the leftover blueberries into a neat little circle. "Is that another smiley face?" she asked softly. Max didn't respond, but his fingers hovered protectively over the tiny blueberry design. "That's really good," Lily added warmly. "You're very creative. Would you like to draw while your dad finishes his coffee?" She didn't wait for an answer. She simply placed her small notepad and a pen in front of him. To her surprise, Max slowly reached for them and began to draw. The father watched in awe. "He doesn't usually interact," he said quietly. "Max is nonverbal. He has autism." Lily nodded with gentle understanding. "My little brother's on the spectrum. Sometimes the trick isn't getting them to speak, it's learning their language." The man stared at her, grateful. "I'm Daniel. Daniel Hayes." "Nice to meet you," Lily replied with a warm smile. Over the next half hour, she visited their table whenever she had a spare moment. Max's notepad quickly filled with hand-drawn smiley faces, each one slightly different. Lily added doodles of her own goofy hats, starry eyes, curly hair. And then something extraordinary happened. When she created a silly face with glasses and wild hair, Max looked up at her and smiled. A small, shy curve of the lips, but a smile. Daniel froze, his breath catching. His voice broke before he could finish. Lily just smiled back at Max. Pretending not to notice the tears, Daniel quickly brushed away. When it came time to leave, Daniel left a tip far larger than she expected, but what shocked her most was the business card he placed on the bill. "I run a foundation for children with special needs," he explained. "We're always looking for people who can truly connect with kids like Max. If you ever want to try something new, call me." Lily picked up the card. Bright Futures Foundation. Before she could thank him, Max held out the notepad. On the page were 3 smiley faces, a man with short hair, a boy, and a woman with a ponytail and apron. "I think he wants you to have it," Daniel said softly. Lily folded the drawing and tucked it into her apron. "Thank you, Max, I'll keep it safe." Max looked back at her once before leaving, his eyes meeting hers for the first time. 3 weeks later, Lily walked into the Bright Futures Foundation for her first day. Daniel had told the board how she connected with Max, how she reached him in a way no specialist ever had. Her first assignment, an art-based communication program for nonverbal children. Her first student, Max. When Lily entered the cheerful art room, Max looked up immediately, this time offering her a bright, instant smile. 6 months later, Max spoke his very first word, smile. A year after that, Lily's program supported 30 children. Families reported breakthroughs that once felt impossible. On the anniversary of their first meeting, Daniel took Lily and Max back to the Sunshine Diner. In the same booth by the window, Max tapped his tablet and pointed at Lily, then Daniel, then himself. The voice from the device said one word, family. Daniel's eyes filled with emotion. Lily's did too. Outside, the sun broke through the clouds. Inside, 3 people sat together, connected not by blood, but by compassion, courage, and a little notepad filled with hand-drawn smiles. This story was brought to you by Whispers of Kindness, where every tale begins with a gentle act that changes everything.